Hey everyone, I wanted to go over some new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch, but also trying to clarify this as best as possible since I've seen in social media there to be a little bit of confusion as to when people should be able to get these voice packs essentially into Monster Hunter Rise. So during the big Monster Hunter Rise presentation for Tokyo Game Show, one of the least touched upon things, and most likely one of the least things talked about in general, was the fact that they're going to be adding paid DLC voice packs into Monster Hunter Rise heading into the future. Specifically starting in late October whenever we get the Ghost and Goblins collaboration dropping that same day presumably. Now this is the interesting part. The fact that the official Japanese Monster Hunter Rise Twitter account actually posted about it, and you're going to be seeing this in the video showcasing right now. In their translation, they're actually saying that these voice packs are available right now. And interestingly enough, obviously they're not. I actually went ahead and checked not just in-game through the eShops in both the Japanese and North American eShops, but also through the browser in the Japanese and North American Nintendo eShop pages. And of course, none of these two voice packs were available at all. So I'm not necessarily sure if that was a little bit of a mistake in the Japanese Monster Hunter Rise Twitter account basically saying that they are available right now, but they are not. According to the official information that they provided us in the presentation, they are saying that they're going to be dropping in late October, so you should be expecting them within a couple of weeks for sure. So hopefully that clarifies that for people who are hoping to buy them right now. You just simply can't do that as of this point in time. But essentially what they're going to be adding is something that I'm going to just start calling celebrity voice acting packs because pretty much that seems to be what they are. They're using voice acting from popular people to be able to just add more voice acting into the game as paid DLC. Remember that so far I believe we've gotten 8 different ones from different characters around Camera Village, but they're pretty much characters that are part of the story. These characters are being added brand new into the game. They're not necessarily something that are available in the game right now, and I don't even actually think they're going to be added in even as NPCs just walking around. I think they're just kind of adding them as lore wise and just the voice packs themselves, so you can go ahead and check that out. They did also make it clear that whatever character creation settings that are using for these characters, you're going to be able to copy them as well. They're going to make them available publicly. I'm going to go over that eventually once they make that public, but for now pretty much these voice packs are just going to be kind of like their very own standalone thing, so your character can sound like one of these characters. So first and foremost, Manju, the female hunter, is actually voiced by Deborah Wilson in English and Riho Sujigama in Japanese. So you're going to get 2 versions of this Manju character, which according to the lore that they are creating specifically for her, they're basically saying that she's going to be Fugen's elder niece. But again, not presented in game, just kind of like a lore thing to round out the fact that Camera Village does in fact have more hunters than just you yourself and the few other ones that are showcased inside it. Then the second paid voice pack that we're getting, his character's name is Hibasa, and he's being voiced by Sung Won Cho. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And the Japanese voice actor is named Yoshimasa Hosoya. So kind of like Manju, Hibasa is also just a typical hunter in Camera Village, and they actually go about in the presentation to explain that they kind of grew up together, they've known each other, they've basically just hunted together in the past, and if you actually go ahead and purchase them together, they're going to have most likely some sort of back and forth voice lines with each other since they basically know each other for quite a while. I do want to go ahead and play the clips that they played with the full voicing pretty much so you can guys hear it for yourselves if you didn't necessarily get a chance to catch it in the presentation. So check them out.
Ugh, just as stinky on the inside. Reloading for more fun times! Give it all you've got! Let's get ready to hunt! Who's awesome? Me. Don't fail me! Attack! What's up, y'all? Another one down. Nailed it.
Peep this stance. Let's do it up. This one's gonna hurt. Get blasted, fool! You're gonna pay for that and then some! Oh, I could headbutt an Anjanath right now! You want some of this? Trying to get slapped up? Too easy.
So those are the clips that they played during the Tokyo Game Show presentation for each one of the characters in English. I don't think we've necessarily heard them in Japanese just yet, so I apologize for that. But when we do get those in Japanese, I'm definitely going to try to make a separate video and cover that as well. I did want to just talk and touch upon a little bit the fact that they always put these posts up, and I think they don't necessarily get a lot of play, even in the official Monster Hunter Rise Twitter account. But the fact that there is that Fukushigi informant cat that's always posting information regarding Camera Village, and the fact that now they're kind of like saying like, hey, we can actually get celebrity voice actors or voice acting into like the game and create more background lore, more characters, and provide more information to give people a little bit more rounded information regarding Camera Village and just the daily life of the game, essentially whenever you're not hunting. I do find that extremely interesting overall. Those posts from Fukushigi, the informant, in the Twitter account are always fascinating, but I've never actually gone through the work of actually collecting all of them and making like a massive collection of all of them because I've just never really had the time. But now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually go through the work of actually putting that together because it seems to me like the developer actually finding them to be in a helpful way to pretty much provide more information regarding the village itself and rounding out those characters. And the fact that they're willing to create more characters, not just for paid DLC, but the fact that they're willing to talk about it in that regard, I do find that fascinating. As for the prices for each one of these voice packs, presumably if there are going to be anything in parity with the other ones that we have in the game already, most likely they're going to be $2.99, but that's just me presuming that they're not going to try to charge you $4 to $5 for each one of these voice packs. But because they are celebrity voice packs, maybe they are just going to be more expensive. I don't necessarily know that, so I don't want to mislead you guys in that regard, but I'm presuming if it's going to be like any other of the voice packs that they have already in the game, most likely they're going to be $2.99. That's how much the other ones actually cost. Now, will I actually personally buy any of these voice packs? And the answer is most likely no, only because I already use Yomogi. I've talked to you guys about this before. My character is basically using Yomogi's voice actress pretty much since that DLC voice pack came out. I do find those Bunny Dango lines just extremely silly and over the top funny. And the fact of the matter is, if these voice packs are no different than the other ones, then the fact of the matter is that whenever they add brand new gestures and stuff like that, this is probably one of those things that you don't necessarily think about it all that much. The fact that they're adding like new voice packs, even though they're paid DLC, whenever you get brand new in-game gestures for free, whenever we get those event quests for gestures, they actually usually have a couple of lines tagged into that gesture that you haven't necessarily heard before. They were just pretty much voice files that were there that they weren't being used at that point in time, that now are actually being used for those gestures. So it's one of those things that heading into the future, if you are looking to buy one of those voice packs, as they keep adding more gestures, most likely those characters are going to be doing different lines you haven't necessarily heard before. And the funny thing is, the voice acting characters in the game already, the ones that you're like paying for, they usually have so many lines that you haven't necessarily heard all of them. Like for example, I recently started using traps, and Yomogi has some really funny lines when it comes to like laying down traps that I didn't necessarily hear before because I don't necessarily use traps all that much. So it was one of those things that, like, you know, as you start exploring and using different things with the voice acting packs, you're most likely going to be able to hear a couple of things that you haven't heard before. But that's pretty much all the information that I have for you guys for right now when it comes to these two paid DLC voice packs. I find it fascinating that they're taking this route as with celebrity voice packs, but it is an interesting choice at the end of the day. We'll obviously be going over them whenever they drop into the game, presumably at the end of the month, alongside the Ghosts and Goblins DLC in a bundle of DLC packs as well, most likely like paid cosmetics, layered armor and stuff like that. Usually I do know that they're gonna do like a sticker set as well, so expect to see more of that pretty much at the end of the month. But that's gonna be it for this video. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.